order. Come to order. RayJ has been brought up at the Diddy trial. And it's not just incidental. There's been a lot of fake news swirling about with the Diddy trial. And I've had to make several videos about it because it aggravates me. The thing with the Wendy Williams, fake. Kanye West, fake. Prince, private performance, fake. All fake. Something that wasn't reported on at all was real. And it has to do with RayJ. Okay, the way I found out about this was make it make sense because he's been inside the courtroom. I am live on That Surprise Witness every day, pretty much Monday through Friday. Every day, Monday through Friday for the past several weeks. And, except Memorial Day. Actually, no, there was a Friday and a Monday off. Most days I am live about the Diddy trial. I'm covering the Diddy trial. It's not televised, it's not live streamed. So you have to just read from all these different news sources in real time and try to kind of piece together. And sometimes they disagree with each other. Sometimes one will have a detail, the other one don't have. And then together you can kind of get the outline of a situation that maybe might be going on in court. It is the funnest thing to me. Yes, funnest. To hear what people are doing all day while I'm live. They're like, I've been babysitting. Oh, I've been home with my kids sick. My favorite one still so far is this guy, guy. He said he lays tiles. He's a tile layer. I'm like, yes. So I get into like describing what I'm doing because I just imagine my voice is booming across like somebody's like construction site. Somebody's like flipping a house or something and it's just me talking about Diddy, reading it from like news sources. Anyway, none of them told us about RayJ. I didn't even talk about this. I didn't even know. I get off my live stream. Then I got to go start watching the coverage of the people that's been in the court all day because now they have a different perspective as well. So, Tisa tells and make it make sense. That's the main two that I will watch because they're in there every day. And then there's infamous Sylvia reads the transcripts and so does Down the Rabbit Hole News. And so I'll try to get as much from those sources as possible and then piece together what's going on. And then maybe the next day I'll have an update or whatever. Well, hello, update. We had to come all the way to the other channel because this needs its own moment. Not a single news source. They're reporting on everything else. Every other famous person done got brought up. Rihanna, Beyonce, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj. I mean, they're name dropping everywhere and they didn't name drop RayJ. Y'all, and shout out to Mims Make It Make Sense because he's the reason I know. Now I know that some other YouTubers have now mentioned it, but that is how I found out. And so, we gotta talk about this. So what happened yesterday, at the time of this recording of this video, yesterday was June 4th, Wednesday, June 4th. It happened on Wednesday, June 4th in the courtroom. Bana was on the stand. Now, we've talked about Bana, I think, on this channel. Her government name is Brianna Bongolan, and she herself sued Diddy already in November last year. So just a few months ago, she sued Diddy. Now, this is the lady that said Diddy dangled her over the side of a 17-story building balcony. And we talked about balconies and we did a whole balconies video with the Vanilla Ice and all of that. So Bana's the one that was allegedly dangled over the balcony. That is what she alleges. Now, this story, without her name mentioned, had also already been told in Cassie's infamous lawsuit that broke the floodgates open for the Diddy trial to eventually happen. So Cassie mentions this dangling her friend over the 17th story floor over whatever, the balcony in her lawsuit, but she didn't use Bana's name. Well, yesterday, Bono came to the stand in the Diddy trial, but she didn't want to. She gets up there on the stand before the jury even comes in. She says, Plead the Fifth, which means she isn't going to answer any questions on the stand. And she has the right to do that because the Fifth Amendment guarantees you the right. You have the right to stay silent. The reason that you get read that is because the government, if they want to put a citizen in jail, they have to prove their case and they have to do it without your help. So Bana said, nope, I ain't doing it. I plead the Fifth. I have a right to do that. Well, there is something that can override that right and force you to answer the questions, and that is if you're ordered by the court to do so. However, in order to override the Fifth Amendment right, you have to be promised immunity for anything you say. Now, this is the third person in the trial who's done this. We've seen other people do this, George Kaplan and Eddie Garcia. George Kaplan was a former assistant. He testified about some substance activity and he didn't want to get charged for anything, so he pled the Fifth. He was given an immunity ordered to testify, but given immunity so he won't be prosecuted federally for any crimes based on his testimony. Then there was Eddie Garcia. This is the guy that took a bribe, basically, from Diddy. He signed an NDA, and this was about that tape. Diddy basically spent $100,000 to buy that CNN Intercontinental Hotel footage, and he thought it was the only copy. Clearly it was not, but he paid $100,000 to this guard. And the guard that took the 100,000 and divvied it up, he pled the fifth. He did not want to testify, but he was ordered to. So then yesterday, Bonna, balcony lady, she pled the fifth. They ordered her to testify. However, they gave her immunity. Now, the only way to overcome this immunity, she could still be prosecuted, and that's if she lies. Okay. So it's very important. If you have immunity, you really can't lie, because you might end up going to federal prison based on it. So it's not uncommon whenever people have immunity to hear them say more often, I don't know, I don't recall. Because if they don't specifically exactly recall, like their behind is now on the line. That is the situation that Bonna yesterday was testifying under. So Diddy's attorneys took full advantage and they dropped perhaps one of the biggest name drops in the trial, and it wasn't even reported on. Maybe it has been now, but it wasn't during the live streaming of the trial. So Bonna answers her whole first direct questions, direct testimony, and then it's time for Diddy's lawyers to come and ask the cross-examination questions. Nicole Westmoreland, this was one of the lawyers with Brian Steele in the Young Thug case. She represented him very recently, and so she's coming off of a popular celebration of sorts in the media, and she's very good. She's good at her job, for sure. So she reminds Bonna of the immunity thing, and she's like, and you promised to tell the truth, right? And Bonna's like, yeah. And Nicole Westmoreland is like, and who decides if you're telling the truth? And Bonna's like, the prosecutors? Now, I'm doing a reenactment from nothing. Basically, there's no cameras in there. But essentially, Nicole Westmoreland, she strategically reminds Bonna she can't lie. She reminds her. She gets her to admit it. So she asks a few questions. She's still, at the time of the recording of this video, ain't done asking the questions from cross-examination. But that brings me to the big 1-2 of this whole video. Nicole Westmoreland says to Bonna, would you remember any of the names of the substance dealers where you were getting all these hundreds of whatever. Bonna said, no, I think it would be hard for me to remember. It was a long time ago. I was on a bunch of substances at that time myself. I've gotten sober now. I really had a very serious problem. All of that. And she's like, so I'm not sure I would remember any of the names of the substance dealers. Nicole Westmoreland says, was one of them RayJ? A pretty distinguishable name. Apparently, according to Mims, and I'm paraphrasing, Bonna was like playing ignorant. Like, I guess maybe that kind of sounds a little like the singer. Maybe. Was it like I don't recall. And then Mims put a clip in his video I had never seen before of someone he purported was RayJ with a jacket up over his head. Come to think of it, maybe it kind of looked like the Kid Cudi outfit he wore to jail. It kind of looked like the jail. It kind of looked like the Kid Cudi outfit he wore to trial. Because it's like, why is he wearing that? But he wore it in a music video before. It was maybe something like that. Or maybe he was trying to be like a James Dean or something. Maybe it's because RayJ's running out the hotel where Whitney Houston tragically passed away. This is what Mim said. He said, this is RayJ scurrying out. Whitney Houston's unalive up there. I didn't. A lot of people were telling me yesterday he had something to do with Whitney Houston was there on the scene of the death and he was her plug. I was like, y'all are so funny, haha, silly. But I didn't know he was mentioned. Somebody even told me, because I block AstroTurf accounts or accounts that I perceive to be pushing an agenda and not like real human beings that are just genuinely, I just block. Because I'm scrolling through Twitter all day and it's these same accounts, they keep coming up and it's like, no, I don't just block them. So somebody in my chat was like, dang, you might as well just block RayJ too. And I said, I might block RayJ if he starts saying stupid stuff that I can see on my Twitter. But again, I didn't even know at the time RayJ had been, because Nicole Westmoreland asked Bonna, under the penalty of if Bonna lies, she could face prosecution, her immunity goes away, she's just testified to things that could be perceived as criminal activities, innocent until proven guilty. But then you have Nicole Westmoreland saying, was one of the drug dealers RayJ? And Bonna kind of like saying she don't recall. It seems like a strategy to me. Anyway, there's drama about it, and I am wondering why in real time nobody was dropping that name like that. It does remind me of Cassie's testimony whenever she was being asked about the Prince party. Like, did you go to the Prince party? And she said, was that around the time of Whitney Houston's death? Yeah, I went to that party. And now we got a RayJ coming out, and the media weren't yesterday at the time. Anyway, I don't know. I just saw it and wanted to do it. But yeah, I just wanted to report that because things are getting lost. The crumbs are getting lost in the couch, if you know what I mean. And this RayJ crumb, I did not want to let it go. So, yeah, I think that's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Neither is speculation. I do not know because I was not there. Love you, Mina K. Bye. Take it back to the hometown. At 225. They don't make 'em like this no more. Take it to the dance floor. I never heard it like this before. My DJ and your DJ, they sat down on a bio. My DJ don't play no game. He throw that fire. He throw that. Aiko, one day. He throw that. Chocolate name. He throw that. My DJ and your DJ, they say Aiko, one day. He throw that. Chocolate, throw that fire. My grandma to your parent, they sat down on a bio. My grandma say your parent, I set this camp on fire. Talk about it now. Aiko, one day. Listen, let my phone let me shine because I could do this all day. I could do this all day. Back to the hometown. I-10 westbound. Show 'em what I'm talking about. Show 'em like this. It's that 225. It's that 318. That 504. That overdrive. Little pond, big fish. One shot, don't miss. Heard it like this before. Back to the dance floor. Hey now, hey now. That's our 225. Aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. Aiko, one day. Aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. Aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. That's our 225. Hey now, hey now. Aiko, one day. Hey now, hey now. Heard it like that before. Aiko, throw that fire, throw that. Talk about that fire, throw that. Aiko, throw that fire, throw that. He throw that fire, my grandma to your parent, they sat down on a bio. My grandma say your parent, I set this camp on fire. Talk about it now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, one day. Listen, let my phone let me shine because I can do this all day.